Greetings, everybody, and welcome to yet another Blu-ray and DVD update. Yes, this time, going to go through some stuff that I got at a local antique mall that I decided to visit over the weekend. Yeah. So with all of this stuff, shall I say, can't really beat the prices because all the booths that I visited. Everything was basically marked half off or 75% off. Yeah, so you're talking about some good deals and some great stuff. So what did I get? Find out next here on the Media Files. Welcome back. So, yeah, we got a big pile of stuff to go through. So, yeah, so where to begin? Well, might as well just start with what's on top. So, with this, I was, just kind of in the mood to listen to one of my favorite bands, and sure enough, this booth actually had the tribute concert. Yes, I got for literally, basically a buck, the Freddie Mercury tribute concert. Yes. Now, granted, I know some of the picture quality isn't the best, but what can I say? This, if you have never listened to Queen at all, do it because they are one of the best bands ever to exist. And not only that, though, I can't wait to sit down and actually watch the concert and see what all kind of tributes that they do to Freddie Mercury in that concert. So up next, found a movie with that basically stars Connor, not Duncan MacLeod, but Connor MacLeod and Raiden. Some movie with Christopher Lambert and John Lone called The Hunted. Yeah, it sounded interesting. I mean, it was only for basically I think 50 cents, somewhere around there. But, it just sounded like an interesting little, thriller type of movie. So I'm like, yeah, why not? Give it a shot. So up next, we have a movie that I've never seen, but I've always heard really good things about it. But I do know that this is definitely one of the movies I do not have of this director. Yeah. Tony Scott, who directed this movie. I do have Top Gun, and I also do have True Romance. But with this particular werewolf movie, I do not have. Yeah. I got The Hunger. Yeah, I think I only paid a buck for this. So I'm like, sweet, I'll have to, check this movie out because I've heard nothing but good things about it. And, what can I say? I've been trying to find more of Tony Scott's early stuff because I'm pretty much aware of a lot of the Scott brothers stuff anyways, but I've never really seen some of their very, very early work. So up next, this movie, I remember seeing it in theaters, and I remember that the CGI for the time was absolutely mind-blowing. And granted, yeah, it's, some of it is CG, but a lot of it is practical effects. But, but hey, I'm not going to complain because it's an awesome movie, and it stars Tommy Lee Jones as a robotic military doll. That's right. I got Small Soldiers. Yeah. Now, I remember when this movie came out, and it was awesome for the time. But I tell you what, though, even though the movie is PG-13, it's kind of dark for a PG-13 movie. They were kind of aiming it to be kind of a kid's movie. But, I dropped it. So, anyways, but, yeah, I remember it being awesome, and it was kind of, like I said, it was kind of dark for it being kind of a kids, being targeted as a kids movie. But I'm like, oh, it's PG-13. No wonder it's a little dark. So up next, I finally have this movie. Unfortunately, it's not on DVD, but that's fine. I will take it as a Blu-ray. Now, granted, if I can one day find the Blu-ray of this, then that'll be a huge accomplishment in this DVD collection. Now that I have it on Blu-ray, I'm also going to have to try to track down all of the Blu-rays within this same series. I'm, of course, talking about the Dragon Dynasty series. And granted, this is the number This is the 7th Blu-ray that came out, but it is the number 1 in the DVDs that came out way back in the day. I'm, of course, talking about Killzone. Yeah, the Ultimate Edition. Now, granted, I have not seen this movie. I've always wanted to see it, and from what I've heard, Donnie Yen does amazing job, as well as the awesome fight choreography, in the film. And I can't wait to see it because, I do love me a good martial art movie every now and then. So, up next, came across this movie. Now, I know it is kind of a remake from an old 50s movie starring Marlon Brando, but this movie stars Mel Gibson and Anthony Hopkins. I'm, of course, talking about The Bounty. Yes, now this is a remake of the movie entitled Mutiny on the Bounty from, I believe it was 1956 or early 50s or somewhere around there. But I've never seen it, and I know this is one of Mel Gibson's earliest movies, and I can't wait to sit down and watch it. It looks awesome, and, hey, I'm a sucker for a good movie. What can I say? Let's see, we'll set that over here. So up next, speaking of really awesome actors, let's go back a little old school here with Clint a little bit. Yeah, we got ourselves a Clint Eastwood movie. Funny thing is, I don't have this one, but hey, I only paid 75 cents for it, so I'm not going to complain. I'm, of course, talking about Hang 'em High. Yeah, now, eventually I'll get all these tape and stickers off of this thing or whatever, but, what can I say? I mean, it's a Clint Eastwood movie, and I know I've never seen this particular Western that he's been in. I've seen a lot of them, but, I've never actually seen this particular one, and it's sweet. It's got the booklet with it, and of course, MGM/Universal's love of flipper discs for early back in the day of DVD. But hey, what can I say? It's Clint Eastwood. So up next, we have a couple of Blu-rays here. Yeah, so this movie is a remake, and I heard from a lot of people that, like, oh, you need to stay away from the remake. It's god-awful. I have seen parts of the remake, but I have seen the original. Absolutely loved it. As, of course, basically, without this movie, we really wouldn't have, copycats of this, basically having a director wanting to put his spin on it. I'm, of course, talking about a movie that basically stars, Thanos and the Scarlet Witch, before they were even in Marvel. Old Boy, that's right. Now, I didn't pay $10 for this. Actually, I only paid $2.50 in the end because the booth was 75% off. So I'm like, okay, I'll definitely take it because it's Blu-ray, and I'm like, hey, for basically for $2.50, what can I say? I can't really complain. Now, I mean, granted, the movie it's directed by Spike Lee. I haven't seen very many of his movies, but the writer of the film he did, I believe, the Poseidon Adventure remake called Poseidon with Kurt Russell. So hopefully it's good. I'll have to see how good the one-take sequence is and compare it to the original. So up next, this movie stars Jennifer Lawrence, and no, it's not the Hunger Games movies. This movie I've never heard of. It just sounded interesting. But hey, I figured, for $2.50, why not give it a shot? What can I say? It sounds, like I said, it just sounds interesting. It's like a thriller set in the winter somewhere or whatever, but I got Winter's Bone. Yeah. So, obviously, apparently it's the best picture at the Grand Jury Prize at the Sundance Film Festival from 2010. So, okay. So, it might be a good movie. So, we'll have to check it out here and see, what it's all about. So, up next, we have a film by an awesome Asian director who has done tons and tons of movies. He's mainly known for doing the Once Upon a Time in China series. But with this movie, I've never really heard of it at all. The only reason why I knew of it is because I knew the director. His name was on it or whatever. So we have from Troy Hark, Time and Tide. Yeah. Sounded interesting. I figured it was going to be a martial art movie, but looks like one of like one of those old 80s, Chinese or gangster type movies, like John Woo's Hard Boiled and The Killer. So I'm like, sweet, I'll have to check that out and see how good it is. So with this movie, it's based off of a video game, and I know it didn't do very well, but I have seen it before on, I believe it was on Netflix, and I'm surprised how good it actually was, considering the fact the majority of the vehicles in the film were all done for real, and I'm like, thank God. I mean, sure, they may try to do a little bit of Michael Bay, but it's not quite Michael Bay's spin on it. I'm, of course, talking about the video game adaptation, Need for Speed, starring Aaron Paul from the Breaking Bad movies, and Dominic Cooper. What else was he in? I cannot remember what else he was in, but it's driving me nuts at the moment. There was something that I watched him in not that long ago, and I can't remember what it is. Let's see. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. So, yeah. Like I said, great movie. If you like cheesy, fun action, the story's pretty cheesy, but hey, what can I say? It even has Batman in it. Yeah, Michael Keaton's in this movie, so I'm like, sweet. Like, anything with Michael Keaton, I'll watch. So, up next, we have a monster movie. Yeah. Now, this director he kind of got his start with a couple of remakes that he did with the remake of The Hills Have Eyes, and what was the other one? The Hills Have Eyes, and it escapes me at the moment. But he also directed a movie called High Tension, which was really, really good. Oh, Piranha. Yeah. That movie's awesome. It's gory, but it's, the scenes when you see them. That's pretty much the only real reason to watch it. I mean, come on. So for this movie, we have from producer Sam Raimi and director Alexandre Aja, we have Crawl. Yeah, Gator movie. That's right. It looks like, Lake Placid, times 5. I mean, so I'm like, okay, it's a gator, monster movie. So hey, why not? I think I only paid, maybe 75 cents or 50 cents for it on Blu-ray. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to lose out on much if I don't, like it. So now with this movie, I have seen it. I saw it on, I believe it was on Netflix when I first heard about it. But what can I say? It's got Liam Neeson in it, and it's directed by one of the best directors in the business. It's sad that he hasn't done anything in a while. Director Joe Carnahan, yeah. Liam Neeson in The Gray, yeah. Now I didn't pay $7 for it. I think I paid about $1.75 or something like that. But hey, what can I say? I mean, it's the marketing has this movie all wrong. I mean, they say it's going to be him against wolves and all that stuff, but it's more of a survival movie, really. I mean, it's really, really, really good movie. It's also quite original too. So, if you have not checked out The Gray, check it out. It is awesome, awesome, awesome movie. So up next, we have a comedy film. Yes, I do like me a good comedy every now and then. But with this movie's just instant classic, written all over it. And none of that, this is basically really jump-started, this actor's career, who's gone on to star in tons and tons and tons of great movies. But not only that, it features basically a giant floor piano. If you know what that movie is, you should know what this is. That's right. We have Tom Hanks in Big. That's right. I have no idea how I've never even owned this movie, but I've seen it, many, many times, and oh, it's so good. I mean, if you are just looking for a fun, entertaining, movie, for the family to watch, watch Big. It's awesome. Certainly beats half the stuff that's out there now. So up next, now these movies here. I've seen all of these. A couple of them are reacquisitions. But one of them I used to have a long time ago, and then I ended up selling it because, it either got damaged or it just quit working after a certain point. I don't know why, but it ended up being one of my favorite films from director David Fincher. And not only that, though, it's a really, really intense thriller starring Jodie Foster. Yeah. I'm, of course, talking about Panic Room. That's right. This movie is awesome. And it co-stars Kristen Stewart before she ever did those stupid Twilight movies. Yeah. This is Kristen Stewart when she's actually good. And she's not doing the whole, I'm going to stare into your eyes out in the, out in the middle of nowhere scene. Oh, yeah, you're shiny vampire. Yeah, I'll do a rant about those movies maybe someday. If I ever get off my butt to actually watch those movies ever again. Yeah, thank God Edward Cullen went off to be Batman. Yeah. So anyways, Panic Room, yeah. So now there is a special edition of this movie. Now here's the thing is that this movie really does not have much as far as extras go. Because this is actually part of the Superbit DVD line, which mainly focuses more on the surround sound aspects, because this is way back in the early days of DVD, and when Superbit came out, they really increased the sound in a lot of movies that were really, really quiet. But not only that, though, I completely forgot that Forrest Whitaker is in this movie, and a very young Jared Leto. Yeah, this is before he went off to do the Joker. But yeah, such a good movie. If you're looking for a really, really good intense thriller, watch this. And not only that, the score by Howard Shore. Oh yeah, the score is awesome because he did this movie in between Lord of the Rings. Yeah, he did this in between The Two Towers and Return of the King. So, up next, this movie is a definite reacquisition because I had to throw my old copy away because it was sitting in a box and it got some mold damage on it. Yeah, unfortunately, it happened to be one of those movies that was sitting towards the bottom of the box and I had to unfortunately throw it away. Thankfully, though, somebody had this there, and not only that, they actually had the back sleeve on it, which is, I think, kind of hard to find. But the funny thing is, it's another David Fincher movie. But what can I say? This movie, it was an instant classic in college. Everybody in college around this time watched it. You know you watched it. You know you quoted it left and right. I'm, of course, talking about Fight Club. Oh, yeah. That's right. This movie is awesome. It still is awesome to this day. Brad Pitt, an amazing performance. Edward Norton, amazing performance coming off of American History X. And, I mean, David Fincher's direction, if he had not made this movie, his career would not be where it is today if it wasn't for this movie. First rule about Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club. Oh, yeah. Oh, let's see here. If we can sit here, yeah, we'll see it like that. So there we go. So up next, there's actually a couple others sitting over here that I forgot about. So up next, now this movie I have seen before. It's an Oliver Stone classic because I have it in the Oliver Stone collector's set. Unfortunately, that did not come with the bonus feature disc, but I managed to track down an older version of that and got it. However, this is a re-release. Yeah, I am of course talking about probably one of Val Kilmer's best performances ever in a movie. We got The Doors, the 15th anniversary edition. Yeah, you gotta love the shininess on this thing. It's all purple and shiny, and it looks very kind of glossy and what have you. I mean, it's just, I mean, this movie's awesome. I mean, this is like, before, this is like Bohemian Rhapsody, times, 50 as far as like, music, performance movies go to. It's nuts. It's insane. And, what's awesome is that it comes with the thing there, and it comes with 2 discs, which is awesome. So, completely loaded with extras. Maybe I'll do a review on it after I watch it, just to kind of see if there's any difference in the older edition versus this edition as far as picture quality goes. So up next, so I managed to come across this DVD. I used to have it ages ago, sold it, but apparently now I guess it's kind of a bit of a collector's item, especially if you have the slipcover. Yeah, I found it with the slipcover for like 50 cents. I'm like, okay. I'm of course talking about Mel Gibson's, probably one of his most bizarre movies, and probably one of the most bizarre movies that's ever been made. A movie that isn't even spoken in English. Yeah, I'm of course talking about Mel Gibson's Apocalypto. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that annoying, sticker off of there. I think that's from Family Video, I think, from way back in the day. But yeah, I think it's kind of rare to have the slipcover, so I think that's a rare, collector's item. And now, granted, it's got all this crap all over the back of it, but I might just swap out cases and, hey, there we go. But, I mean, what can I say? I mean, this movie was awesome way back in the day. It still is. And what's kind of cool about it is that I'm surprised it actually had the scene selection flyer in there with it, and nothing on the back. So, but yeah, I mean, now I know also the Blu-ray is also kind of a collector's item too. So I don't know if I may be able to track that down. We'll see. But we'll see what happens down the road. So, yeah. So, with that, now finally, onto our last one that we got. So, with this movie, I've seen multiple versions of this character. He's been around literally forever. First started off in a book, then became a very famous movie in the early 1930s. And we've had multiple iterations of this character, going from extreme horror to downright hysterical comedy. Yeah. However, this one is directed by a legendary horror director. We have Dario Argento's Dracula. Yeah. So I've never seen this movie. I love watching lots of Dracula movies because I think Dracula was actually one of the first horror movies I ever saw when I was really, really young, and I remember dressing up as him for Halloween one year. I think it was like maybe like 3 or 4. I think, I don't know. I just because the one that I had watched was the old 1933 movie. I don't know how I watched it. I think it was on TV one time, and I just looked at it and I thought, hey, that's cool. So yeah, I mean, I've never seen this particular version of Dracula. I've got several different versions of him, of this movie. Not of this movie, but of, different Dracula movies. So, yeah. So that pretty much wraps up this latest update batch of movies. And so with that, remember to please like and subscribe. And I will see you on the next update.